What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. Justin here, and today, well, we have an interesting video. I find it interesting. I'm going to uncover, the differences between a reel made in 2017 and a reel made in 1987. This reel is way older than me. I know I look 12, but I'm actually 23, and this thing is still older than me. So, I was born in 95, 1987. Almost, over 30 years old, which is crazy. And we're gonna get out in the yard and actually throw them. I don't really want to, and I'm gonna be real careful with this thing because it's kind of like a collectible to me. But just for these video purposes, I'm gonna get out and throw it and just hear. It's probably gonna make some pretty organic sounds. I don't know when the last time this thing's been chunked around, but for now, let's get into some close-ups of the two, just to show some similarities and some differences that, have evolved over time. So let's do it. Oh, yeah. So let's get on with the video. I hope y'all enjoyed that little B-roll section, but if you liked it, make sure and subscribe. We do a lot of that here, a lot of fishing, a lot of hunting. Anything you want to see, comment it down below. But for now, let's get on with the video, and I got to rig these rods up. So, old boy up first. This thing is an absolute tank. It's pretty heavy. Feels a little odd on this, very light rod, but let's rig the other one up and get out and throw them. So while the Metanium is a lot more slick and sleek and fits a lot better in your hand and is a lot lighter, that's just what Shimano has improved on over 30 years. I'm glad they've, upgraded a few things, but you still can't, underestimate the technology for this thing's time. I mean, this thing has a magnetic braking system and everything. So let's get out and throw them, and then we'll come back and I'll get into the specs. Boom. I'm gonna throw on these two little jig heads that I got in my Lucky Tackle box. So what Lucky Tackle box is a monthly subscription that sends you boxes of baits every month, and you're gonna get your money's worth. I've been, subscribed to Lucky Tackle box for over 2 years now, and I love every month. I get new baits that I've never seen before, and I get to try out. I've got a mess in my room, and we're about to get outside and see how this thing throws. Let's start off with the Metanium, and I'll just talk about it a little bit, what I like about it, and all that. Metanium is how smooth it is. By far, the smoothest reel I've ever owned. I mean, for the price, it better be smooth. But like I've told people a million times, I didn't pay full price for this reel. I actually got it on a discount. So if you're one of those people that judges people for buying expensive reels, no, I didn't pay full price. So let's just clear that up real quick. If you want to see a full review on this reel, if you're interested in getting a review on the Metanium, I actually have one on my channel. So I don't know why I picked that one up to throw it first. I've thrown this thing a million times, caught a ton of good fish on here. Let's throw the 30-year-old reel. I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of excited. It's one of those weird feelings. All right, so here she is, 30 years. I don't know when the last time this thing was actually used, but we're about to see. Oh my goodness, I feel like I am funny. You're used to pushing right here. You're used to clicking a button right there, but it's over here. That's odd. And the handle is just so much smaller. Let's just note that. So, I mean, that's a horrible side by side, but you can kind of just see the handle difference. Just picking this thing up, mounted on a rod. This is the first time I've ever mounted it on a rod. It just feels funny. It feels like I'm got a reel like this because it's so small. So let's check my drag. Drag seems a little loose. I'd hate to backlash this thing and the video be over. So let me tune this thing up. Oh, that noise. Let me get it close to the microphone here. That noise is just, it kind of feels like there's a dial in there, like an actual like dial that hits across some pegs or something, which I don't know, there might be. I still feel like I'm gonna backlash this thing. That's probably the best I'm gonna get. Let's throw her the moment we've all been waiting for. 30 years old, 1987. I know I'm being a little dramatic about this, but I'm young. I'm a young whippersnapper. I've never held anything like this in my hand, so let's give her a toss. She didn't throw very far, but like I said, I had the drag cranked all the way up. I didn't want, I mean not the drag, I had the braking system cranked all the way up. I didn't want to backlash it. So let's loosen her up a little bit. She's remarkably smooth for being 30 years old, you know. You'd think it'd just be rusted and crusted over, and the handle, you can see that. I've already noticed that. It's got a little play in it, but I mean, that's no biggie. You know, when you're done, it can fall a decent ways. I don't know. Quick little thing. Let's just give her another toss. Ooh. I mean, that thing is fishable. Now the spool is really small and it's tapered, unlike any of the newer ones I see. I mean, everything still works. The level wind and everything still works good. Shimano, you make stuff right. 30 years later, nothing's rusted, nothing's corroded. Still working. I could get out there and fish with this thing. Now, I'm only gonna throw this thing about 5 times. I wanna preserve it. I wanna pass this on to my kids one day. My grandpa passed it on to me. It's really special to me. I just really, you know, it's been sitting on my shelf for a little bit, and I've been thinking, 30 years ago, I can picture my grandpa using this thing, or reels like it, whatever. You know, how did they fish compared to what we have now? And it's really remarkable. You would think it would be a world of difference, but at the end of the day, it's not really that much. That's crazy. I know it probably sounds dumb to some of you older people that are like, yeah, y'all just fall for all these expensive flashy reels, but it really is, you know, remarkable to see how there's so much similar but so much different at the same time. So let me cast it again. This thing is amazing. I'm actually going to put the mic on it. Should I put the mic on it? To where we get, that might be too loud. Put the mic right there to where we can get a good sound of it. It's got a very vintage sound. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's not quiet like that one, but got the mic put on it close to the reel. Let's see how she sounds. I mean, at the end of the day, the thing's pretty smooth. Let's mount the mic back on me. One more cast, then we're gonna go back inside and talk about actually some of the internal things that I can find online, because I don't have the box. I wasn't around when this thing came out. I'm gonna have to do some research. I know about my Metanium, made a whole video on it if you wanna go watch it. I'm not gonna cover everything on the Metanium, but one more cast and we'll get back inside. Dude, I just threw this thing like 40 yards. Now it might take me 3 minutes to reel it in because it's so freaking, the handle is so tiny. Look at this thing. I couldn't imagine. You know when you catch a fish and he starts running at you, and with newer reels with big handles and high gear ratios, you don't have to work too much to get that bait or catch up with that fish, the line that he's pulled in. With this thing, you had to get it, son, if that fish started running at you. Anyways, that's just things that come out in my mind about what people 30 years ago when this came out, what the difference was. I know they've done a lot when it comes to, you know, getting those super high gear ratios. They used to not have that technology, but let's go back inside. It's getting a little dark. Okay, so I've done some research on this thing and I'm pretty amazed. One of the main things I was wondering was how much would this cost to buy in today's time. So I dug around on the internet a little bit, went to some forums. Can't really find much information on these things. They made a ton of different models, but what I did find is a lot of these cost around $35. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, if you remember getting this specific model, which is the 100X SG. But anyways, guys, $35 back in the day in the 1980s roughly is about $90 to $100 now, depending on the sources you look at. But that's crazy. I don't think you could buy anything nowadays that was $100 that would last you 30 years when it comes to like fishing reels. And just to put in perspective, this reel retail costs $400. And remember, I didn't pay full price for this thing. And I don't know if that's good or bad that reels have gotten so expensive, but they have come a long way a little bit. Mostly in comfort, and yeah, it's kind of crazy to see. It puts into perspective on really, it's kind of gotten carried away, but at the same time, if you fish a lot, this thing, you would way rather fish with this thing all day than this thing for a few reasons. And one being the weight. This thing's heavy. I don't have a scale to know exactly how much it weighs, and I can't really find on the internet, but I'd say this thing weighs over 10 ounces, and this thing weighs around 6 ounces. So this thing is super light. A lot of people don't really care about the weight, but if you fish day in, day out, it's not really about the weight, because obviously 6 ounces isn't much for anybody to lift, but it's about the sensitivity. I've actually put these custom paddles on here to make this thing even lighter. It's super duper light and it's super smooth. Maybe it's just Shimano, but I read online where they actually came out with left-handed models of this reel, and they made all kind of models, over 15 different models in this Bantam series. This one, like I said 2 or 3 times now, is the 100X SG. You know, not that I would ever think about selling it now, because it definitely means a lot to me, and it was given to me by my grandpa, and I plan on passing it on to the next generation in my family. But these things sell on the internet for like $50, so don't think I'm sitting here holding on to like some reel that is worth $1,000. It's not that collectible. There's a lot still in circulation, but it is really cool to dig around on the internet and read stories about it. You know, especially stories that my grandpa has told me about him fishing, you know, back in the day. This thing has, you know, connected a lot of people. There was tons of forums on the internet, and I kind of got sucked into a loophole just reading story after story where people love these things. A lot of people, or not a lot, but some people still fish with them today, which honestly, I could get out and fish with this thing today. It's incredible. It's super smooth and reliable. I know some reels that I've bought that were under $100, like they only last about a year, and then the gears are all messed up, and you know, they're pieces of crap. That's not the case with this thing. It is super, you know, it's a tank. That's all I have to say. So I'm going to put that one away in the collection. I'm going to keep fishing with this one. Y'all know I'm a big Shimano guy. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. My grandpa kind of got me into it. And here's one reel I want to show you that my grandpa, this was, if I think about my early days of fishing and learning how to use a bait caster, this is the Shimano that I started with. And I had one for the longest time, and I ended up losing it. You know, me being young, I was back in high school. I was like 15 or 16. It was just a fishing reel to me, and it didn't mean much. I lost the one that I grew up fishing with, which is a bummer. My grandpa, being old and wise, has a ton of these still in his shop that this one has never been used before. Like, it doesn't have a scratch or anything on it. Now, it is a left-handed model. I don't know why he bought a left-handed model, but he did. He gave it to me, and I'm definitely going to hold on to these two forever, because this is super old, and this one means a lot to my grandpa. This one meant a lot to me. I've fished with all kind of Shimanos. He actually got me this Sitka for my graduation present in high school, and I still have it to this day. It's an awesome reel. I don't really use it too much anymore. Other than that, I have the obviously the Metanium and the Cryo K. So I'm a big Shimano guy. I really do believe in their products. You know, like I said, I'm not paid to say this. It's just really cool to kind of see how far Shimano's come and the reliability that they've always brought to the table, because I mean, y'all saw me throwing this thing. That's all I have to say about this. I'm going to put this thing on the shelf. It's a heck of a reel. And comment below if you have any crazy stories with this reel, or, you know, reels like this. Doesn't have to be this specific model, just Shimano Bantams back in the day. I know I have a lot of older people that watch this video. I know I'm a young whippersnapper, but I'd love to see your stories. I really do like reading that type of stuff. It just, you know, it's something that's vintage and authentic. I feel like those times, this meant a lot. I read a lot of stories on the internet where, you know, people would work their butts off to save up enough to buy this thing to get out and fish. And I feel like nowadays we take fishing for granted, so to say. Like, you know, it's another fishing reel, where back in the day you didn't have 8 combos. You had 1 or 2, and it got the job done. So it's really cool. Comment below if you have any cool stories on this thing. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you want to see any more videos like this. I love making them. I love doing, you know, product reviews. I don't know really what you'd call this video, but thanks for watching this video, guys, and see you next time.
Oh, yeah.